Welcome to 20th Century Music and Arts. This is my first episode where I'm going to be actually doing a book review. So, I decided to choose to review a book by a childhood friend of mine, Dr. Jason Ridler. He got his PhD in war studies from the Royal Military College in Canada. He is currently a historian at Johns Hopkins University and is the official writing instructor for the arts at Google through the Greater Than Some vendors. He has published 9 novels, over 88 short stories, many historical books, academic articles, essays, columns. He's a really prolific writer. His latest novel, Harvest of Blood and Iron, which is from the Crossroad Press and was released in 2023. Now, I know my channel is called 20th Century Music and Arts, but I will make an exception here, and the fact of the matter is the novel takes place during the 20th century, and more specifically World War I, 1918, the last year of that conflict. However, this setting is very much an alternative version of World War I. What the author has created here is, he describes it as a Frankenstein steampunk great war novel. He was in part inspired by the John Carpenter film Big Trouble in Little China, a film that JC and I watched together as kids, and that film is great for fusing all kinds of genres together. Harvest of Blood and Iron is an intense novel, but it is a lot of fun as well. The novel focuses on 2 different protagonists. First, there is Warren Bishop. He's kind of like a shady con man who's seeking redemption by joining the Canadian Army in order to find his dead brother, who had valiantly volunteered to serve in the war. Now, he finds his brother, but his brother is now part of a new undead army, and Warren is brought into this world as well. The other protagonist is Vasilia Savarov, and she's like the illegitimate daughter and heir to the Fabergé family. She has this ability to create mechanical creations that come to life. She makes these cool little deadly mice, for example. In exile from her home country after the Russian Revolution, she finds herself kidnapped by the German military, and they want her so she can create some kind of mechanical creation, some kind of great monstrosity that can bring the war to an end and, of course, allow German victory. Now, the chapters sort of alternate between Warren's perspective and what's going on with him and Vasilia's perspective as well, and then eventually fate will bring the 2 characters together. And both of these characters, I have to say, are some very, very angry people. Very well written, though. The novel also hosts a cavalcade of historical figures, including people like Queen Victoria, H.G. Wells, Winston Churchill, and Rasputin. Now, Mr. Ridler wrote this novel at a rapid pace, and he did that, as he says, to ensure sort of a pulp authenticity, which the book is a real homage to, and it completely works here. This novel is extremely engaging, and it's so action-packed. The thing is, the chapters are relatively short in length, so the action can really flow very rapidly from one event to the next. But there are also amazing usage of figurative language and a lot of vivid descriptions, and that really helps the reader visualize what's happening in the story, and also gives us a sense of the horrors of the First World War. But there's also some real great sarcastic humor, especially from the character Warren Bishop. I would recommend this book to people who are interested in horror fiction, into fantasy, into things like the Twilight Zone, into even science fiction, of course, like the steampunk genre, and people are really into historical fiction and just history in general, and also anyone who just enjoys action or thrillers. You really would get a kick out of this. And, this book is a good starter for anyone who wants to get back into reading, because in this day and age, so many of us maybe are not opening novels because our attention span has been totally destroyed through social media, and we know that we probably should be getting back into reading. This novel is a great place to start. okay? Because the action moves fast. It's got these short chapters, and the reader really never gets bored. I will leave a link where you can purchase the novel, and I'll also a link to Jason Ridler's own website. Check out his other works, both fiction and nonfiction. And Jason Ridler also teaches courses to help aspiring writers as well. Again, I highly recommend Harvest of Blood and Iron by Jason Ridler. Please check this book out.